Hello and welcome to Mollie's Motif. This is Emily and we have the start of another challenge over at Cut It Up Challenges. It's all about giving thanks. It's not necessarily Thanksgiving, but we just want to see a thank you card or a thank you gift or some sort of project that says thank you to someone else. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today, is putting together a thank you card. I had a friend of mine that was so nice and was able to kind of rearrange her schedule to do family pictures for us. And so I wanted to put together a thank you card for her. And I'm going to be using the sketch from Mojo Monday that they issued this week. And it's either a round or a square card. And I'm going to be doing the round card because I haven't done one for a while. I'm also going to be entering this card into the Die Cut and Divas challenge that was issued on Tuesday. And I believe that it's all about giving thanks as well. So just kind of a twist. We've been doing so many Thanksgiving cards, but now it's time to actually do a thank you card. So I'm kind of glad about that. So anyway, my card I'm going to be pulling from the Art Philosophy cartridge. I'm really loving this cartridge. There's so much on this cartridge. It is and can be so overwhelming, but the features that I've used and the cuts that I've used from this, I've absolutely loved. So I'm happy that I have this one. And I am going to be pulling from page 41 in the handbook. I was going through all the different shaped cards that they had, and I came across this, it's kind of a jumbo scalloped card, and I loved it. I've done a bunch of cards with the smaller scallop, but this jumbo I think is so cute. And so this is the cut that I'm using, and I did cut it at 5 1/4 so that it would fit in a 5x5 envelope. And the base cut, I just cut it 5 inches for my base mat, and that layers just perfect. So, and I will get to that in a minute. The papers that I'm using are all coming from this American Crafts paper pack. It's called Amy Tangerine, and I got it from Big Lots, so I'm not sure if it's still in print, but it's just got some really fun papers in here. And I really like the color, the tone of this paper pack, and some of the designs are really cute. So this is where my paper is coming from. And here's my base card. So here is the base card. Like I said, it's cut at 5 1/4, and it's just from some fun blue cardstock. Opens like this. And then my base mat, 5 inches, is what I cut this out at. And it just layers great. Just layers up just perfect. So that is how that goes. And then just following the sketch, I've got a 3x3 square piece that I've cut, and then a 1.5 by 4 inch piece that I've cut that will go in the center. And then I just cut a little strip from some chevron paper, if I can speak, from that pack, just a small strip that'll go across the center like this. And then from Art Philosophy, they also have just plain circles, so you don't have to switch out and go to George or anything like that. So I've just cut a circle at 2 inches and a shadow piece at 2 1/4 inch. And that'll just go in the center like this. And then, just so you know, I did go ahead and ink all of my edges up with Tim Holtz Tea Dye Distress ink. I really like this, the look of that color, the tea dye, and I just use the makeup sponge. I don't have any fancy tools for that, so, and it works just fine. But I really like the antique look with the tone of this paper. I think it's really complimentary. So that's the base layout. And then I really didn't do any sort of a cut. I could have done, pulled out a cut with the camera or done something like that. But when I was flipping through this paper pack, they had this paper, this pattern that I thought was perfect. I was like, that would be so cute just to cut that out right there as a circle, and that's what I did. I just cut that out. Now, I don't have a circle punch, just one of those hand circle punches. I don't have one of those. So that, you could have easily just punched that out with the circle punch. But what I did instead was just cut this down and put it on my mat and put it through the Cricut machine and found the center of it. Just kind of, you know, put the blade over where I thought the center was, and I cut it at 1.5 inches, and I turned on the center point feature that's on the Cricut, and it just cuts around what you're wanting to. And I've used that quite a few times. I haven't invested in one of the circle punches yet, and my Cricut does just fine for me. So that's how I cut that out so nicely. But like I said, you could easily just use a circle punch, but I do like the center point feature on the Cricut. If you haven't used it, I would play around with it. I mean, just give it a shot. Take some scraps and, you know, see if you can kind of figure out where the center is with the blade. And I really like that feature. So anyway, that is the center of my card. And then I just took another strip of some of that paper and notched a little tag, notched the ends out to make it a little tag. And I'm just going to kind of stick that up in the center, something like this. And I've stamped it with thank you, and that comes from my Fiskars one of my Fiskars mini sets, and it's right here. It just says thank you, and it's got a fun little box around it. But I love these stamps. I love how tiny they are. So anyway, this is kind of the idea of my card. I am going to go ahead and put this all together. I will work on the inside, and I'll come back and show you how. Okay, so here's my finished card. I got everything put together. I've just gone ahead and tacked down all my mats straight onto the card, except for my 2 circle mats. I did pop those up with 1 thickness of foam tape, so there's a little bit more dimension there with those 2 layers. And then I've tucked my sentiment tag just underneath my top circle mat there, and it's just adhered down, so it's not going to go anywhere. And the inside, I just took some more of that pattern paper. I cut another scalloped mat at 5 inches from Art Philosophy. And then as far as my center mat, I just took the paper, I laid it over, and then I, on the back, traced where the scallops needed to be, and did some hand cutting, did the best that I could to match up the, you know, the edges, but it worked out fine. And then I've cut another circle mat at 3.5 inches, and then my sentiment mat is cut at 3 inches, and there's plenty of room to write a little note and sign my name. You're the Best. It comes from a Hero Arts stamp set, a really great stamp set with a lot of general statements on there. I use this one quite a lot just because there's so many different occasions on this one. And then of course I use my Chestnut Color Box Pigment ink. Love that ink. And I did go ahead and ink around all the edges on the inside as well, just to carry that over from the front. But I just really like how it turned out. I think it, you know, it's a very nice card. It came together really nice. I love the tones and the colors and the pattern paper. But this is what I have come up with for the Cut It Up challenge that is starting of Give Thanks. We just want to see any thank you card or thank you project. You need to use a die cut, but you know, just want to see any of the projects that you come up with for this challenge and get those linked up over there. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I'd appreciate any comments or feedback. You can always check out my blog. It's mollymugsblog.blogspot.com, and we will catch you next time.